So as usual, I started making a video about 6:30 this morning. I spent half an hour talking and losing my thoughts because I never write anything down. I just ramble. And I was rambling so much and jumping from point to point so much, my morning alarm went off to get up. And that kind of ruined the video because there's no reason for you guys to listen to it. Anybody translate that for me? Just kidding. This is one of the things I buy now. Assam strawberry milk tea. Japan has so many cool things. Tea in a can. This is strawberry. This is the standard milk tea. It's tea with milk and sugar, ready to go. You can drink it cold. You can drink it at room temperature. You can warm it up. It's tea. Strawberry milk tea has a little bit of strawberry flavor. Oh, that's so good. It's the only non-diet item I drink. Instead of getting up, especially in the summer, and making coffee or tea, the can of that at room temperature is nice. Anyway, purpose of this video, before I start to ramble again. Buying books for minimalism sounds silly. So let me save you a couple of books. If you want to buy books about Zen, don't bother. Zen is basically not thinking. It's a hard concept to grasp. You don't need 50 books on the subject. We've all had some times where we've stood looking out a window, where we've gone to wash the dishes in the kitchen, where we've been doing something, and all of a sudden a lot of time has passed and you realized, what in the world did I do for 15 or 20 minutes? I don't even remember finishing all the dishes. I don't remember what I've been looking at out the window for 15 minutes. That is Zen. Zen is being so focused on a particular moment that you don't think about anything else. Now, real Zen, they say, is thinking about nothing at all. I'm not there yet. But if I'm able to spend a couple of minutes focusing on one particular thing, like sitting and breathing, I figure I'm doing good. Zen is standing Zen. You don't have to sit down in some funny lotus position to do it. It really is that simple. And you really just have to do it often to get into what it is. Sitting or standing in a comfortable position, good posture. Breathing in through your mouth, using your stomach to breathe, not your chest. And breathing out through your nose. Normal speed, slower than normal, whatever you feel comfortable with. And just try to focus on your breathing. Other thoughts will come into your mind. Go back to thinking about your breathing. Just do that. Once or twice a day, a couple of times a day. Just keep doing that, and eventually you'll start reaping the benefits of slowing down and doing that. That is Zen. Working Zen, like the Zen Buddhist monks have learned, when they get up in the morning, they'll do their prayer for a certain amount of time. They'll eat. Then they'll grab wet rags and wipe down the entire temple. Spend hours at it. Not because it's dirty, but because the actual physical work is part of meditation. So they ask you to try and adopt that into your regular life. Whatever job you have to do, think of it as part of your meditation process. Focus on it and do it to the best of your ability. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Other people at the job aren't doing as much as you are. Doesn't matter. Not important. What's important is you do your work as part of your meditative practice, and things get better. That's all you need to know about Zen. Look at that. Zen in a couple of minutes. Don't need to spend any money on books. If you've been looking into Buddhism, save you a fortune on Buddhism right now. Buddhism is three basic laws. In my own words, law number one, life sucks. Not that life itself sucks, of course, but things in life can suck. Everybody has things in their life that kind of suck. Pain comes in many different forms. The second law of Buddhism is that a lot of pain and a lot of suckiness comes from you not getting what you want. We've all seen a child throw a tantrum when he doesn't get what he wants, but that goes for all of us. You're lonely because you're not in love. You're unhappy because you can't buy that house or condo you always wanted. You hate your car because it's not a BMW, it's just an old Ford. You can't buy the newest iPhone. You're fat. You don't have a lot of friends. Your teeth are bad. People think you're weird. All of this pain comes from you wanting something. And so the third law of Buddhism is if you don't want shit, you're not going to suffer shit. Or, in other words, by wanting less, you will suffer less. Because most suffering comes through desire. And if you don't have a desire, you won't suffer. If you don't care about falling in love, if you don't care about being popular, if you don't care what you look like, if you don't care what people think, life gets so much better, man. Take my word for it. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. Family, friends, I don't care. So when they try the little nagging things they've been using their whole lives, I just laugh at them. It has no effect on me. That's a wonderful place to get to. Not giving a damn what the Joneses think. Not trying to keep up with the Joneses. I've gone through that thing of wanting the newest cell phone and wanting the most powerful computer and all that crap. I don't want that anymore, and it just makes life so much easier. Anyway, before doing a little foot scratching right now, my feet are adapting to not being inside socks most of the time now. Sounds strange, I know, but if you keep your feet in socks all the time, your skin gets so soft that the slightest little thing will irritate them and they get itchy. So exposing them to air, they're itchy a lot of the time for a while until your feet adapt to the fact that they're in the oxygen. So I got a couple of pair of flip-flops and sandals, and I only wear shoes and socks when I have to, like at work. The rest of the time I'm exposing these puppies to the air so they can breathe and strengthen up and get used to temperature changes and stuff like that. Your feet are very adaptable. Should have no problem. And maybe that's another video series. Anyway, there are two books. It's ridiculous to tell you to buy something to get into minimalism, but if there's two things you're going to buy, it should be these two books. Book number one, which I can't show you because I no longer own it, because being a minimalist, once you read a book, you let it go. Give it to somebody who might use it. That book is called Spark Joy. You can find videos on YouTube. There's a TV series you can rent. Spark Joy is a Japanese lady who realized one way to help people get rid of stuff is you take every piece of clothing they have and put it in one place. And that's when people realize just how much clothing they have. And her idea of sparking joy is you pick up one item at a time. Doesn't matter how long it takes. Pick up one item. Does it spark joy? Do you love it? If not, dump it. You do that and 30 to 50% of your stuff will be gone in a day. And you do that with everything. You go into your garage, you go into your kitchen, you go into your books, you go to anything you have piled up and saved. Keep the stuff you love and dump the rest. Let it go. Now that book on its own was not enough to get me going. It got the mind going, and it's been germinating around here for a year, but I never really got into doing it. I moved from a large apartment to a smaller apartment. I got rid of half my stuff because I couldn't bring it all with me. Didn't use the spark joy method. There's nothing I regret not bringing with me, but that idea didn't even click in my head at the time. Came here to a tiny apartment with way too much stuff. Moved now into an apartment twice the size, and it's enough room, but it's cluttered. So I started thinking about the spark joy thing again, and it just couldn't click in me. You know, sometimes you have a really good idea, you hear about a really good idea, but it just doesn't work for you. But I'm still recommending the book because the method works. And I had to get that method into my head and think about it for a while and watch a bunch of TV shows on it and think about it. Even though I never did anything about it, it was there ready to go. It's kind of like loading up the gun. I wasn't ready to take the shot, but I put in the bullets, ready to take the shot. What allowed me to finally take the shots? It is the book I think is the best book on minimalism ever written. I've been through about 20 of them. None of them even put more ammo in my gun head. This one loaded up my gun and started firing right away. Goodbye Things, the new Japanese minimalism by Fumio Sasaki. One of the best things about this book is that it's not written by a guy who writes advice books. You know, sometimes you go out there and you want to read a book, an advice book on any part of life. You go out there and you find one that's highly rated and it's written by a guy, and you look, guy or a girl, and you look into them, you realize they've written books on many different types of how to live your life. And you start to realize they just do this for a living. They just gather up all this information on how to bicycle every day, and they just gather it all up and write books about it, and people buy it up in flocks. And they're like, oh, that's all great advice, but it's not really coming from them. This is just an ordinary guy. This is the only book he's ever written, as of when this book came out at least. I don't know if he's written anything else, but this is the only book he's ever written. He's not a guy who likes the limelight. He's not comfortable in crowds. He's just a quiet guy. And he realized that by getting rid of all his stuff, you have less time needed for cleaning. He would have a girlfriend come over, and he'd have to tell her, like, don't come over till a certain time because you need hours to clean up his place to make it somewhat presentable. And I realized if I just got rid of all this crap, I could clean this place from top to bottom in half an hour. That was his first step. And then realizing when he got rid of everything, he didn't regret losing anything. He had enough. He had all he needed. He realized he could move into a much smaller apartment, a much cheaper apartment. Having to earn a lot less money every month gave him a lot more options on what kind of job he wanted to work, because he didn't have to chase the big bucks. That's his book in a nutshell, but I still recommend, if you're going to buy a book on minimalism, this is the book to get. This is the book that got me going. This looks cluttered in the background because, again, that half of the room isn't finished yet. It's kind of done, but not finished. And that's really all food stuff's there. It's not garbage stuff or wasted stuff. It's food stuffs. I'm doing little calculations in my head. I would say I've thrown out 50 garbage bags full of stuff. Now, when you think 50 garbage bags full of stuff, you'd think this guy must have been a fucking hoarder. But no. A couple of shirts, pants, one blanket from a bed will take up these are smaller garbage bags, not the leaf bags. Normal sized garbage bags, I guess you'd call them. I don't know what they are. 13, 20 gallons. 13 gallon maybe. Yeah, not Not the big garbage cans you see outside of a house, but the kitchen garbage can size, 3 feet tall, 2 feet wide type of things. What am I, defending myself? I wasn't a hoarder. Maybe close. But yeah, I had so many books, clothing, jackets, blankets. How many blankets do you need for one bed? I had like 30 of them for some fucking reason. I don't know why. I'm down to like 5, which is still too much, but we gotta do it in steps. Yeah, so, and then of course, all the things I get coming in from Amazon always gives me stuff to have to bag up and throw back out again. So yeah, probably about 50 bags. I probably have 5 or 10 bags to go. And then I'm done. But it does make things so much easier. And if there's a reason to get into minimalism, it makes cleaning easier. You can live in a smaller place and save money. You don't have to go after the biggest paying job in the world if your bills are not that high. That's what this guy found out. That's why this is the best book ever on minimalism. I'm in a civil service position, so I won't be going anywhere. But if I get rid of most of my stuff, it'll be easier to clean, easier to maintain. If I adopt a good bit of the minimalist lifestyle, I can go from this expensive apartment to an apartment that's $300 or $400 a month less inside this same building when my lease ends in a year and a half. If I can save $400 a month on rent, that's $5,000 a year. That adds up fast. It also gives me opportunity of living someplace else. If I do get a promotional job in another area of the state, it would be so easy to pack up and go when you're a minimalist, and you wouldn't be concerned with the size of the place you're moving into. So many benefits. I had a thought come into my head and then went out again. I was going to say something about this book. His benefits were cleaning, being able to move, working for less money. Sometimes a thought comes, and sometimes it goes again. The only thing about this book I didn't like is him and a lot of minimalists seem to focus on Steve Jobs. They talk about how he wore the same black t-shirt forever. He didn't have to think about getting dressed in the morning. If your life is that fucked up where you can't take 1 minute to pick a pants and a shirt to put on and a pair of shoes, you need help. You got all these minimalists that are faking it, to make money so they can write books and have YouTube channels. So they wear the same t-shirt every day. Not the exact same t-shirt. They go out and they buy 10 black t-shirts like Steve Jobs had. Because apparently they don't have time to choose between a green t-shirt and a black t-shirt. Somehow wearing the exact same thing every day frees up their mind. I'm not going to get into the bullshit of all of this. If I talk about Zen and Buddhism, I'm not going to talk about any religious aspects about it. I'm going to talk about common sense benefits. When I talk about minimalizing, I'm talking about common sense benefits. Much like this guy. But without talking about Steve Jobs. This guy fucking loves Steve Jobs. Oh, his Apple products were so minimalistic. Oh, shut the fuck up. Steve Jobs never made anything in his life. He bought the first iPod, rebranded it into his own name and sold it. Wozniak made the computers. Steve Jobs was a salesman. He didn't make anything. And I don't give a shit if he wore the same t-shirt every day. He was so full of himself. This is a guy who never registered a car. He would buy a car, get a temporary 90-day plates on it, and before the 90 days was over, get rid of it and get another car so he would never register because he was anti-government. He was fucked in the head too. So stop making him out to be fucking nerd Jesus or whatever the hell you think he is. Oh, him and Zuckerberg, they wear the same t-shirts every day. Really? Their brains are that small they can't spend a minute to pick out a shirt to wear? If you're getting into minimalism because you want to wear the same t-shirt every day, don't watch my videos because I'm going to give you shit. How many t-shirts do I have? I threw out an awful lot of t-shirts. And you know what? I threw out all my black ones and my gray ones because it was so fucking stupid to walk around dressing up like Steve Jobs. The whole idea of it boggles my mind. I have a green t-shirt that says Soylent Green is people. For anybody who saw the movie many years ago, knows what that means. I have a t-shirt. It's a Doctor Who t-shirt, so it looks like a Doctor Who suit on a t-shirt. I have a white t-shirt, striped. I have a black linen t-shirt, kind of Oriental style maybe, which is coming in the mail someday. Been waiting over a month for it. As far as that, I have a couple of white t-shirts which you would wear underneath a suit shirt, in case of sweat or stuff like that, or in the winter the extra layer. That's it. I don't have 10 black t-shirts. I have 2 winter sweaters, 10 dress shirts, 10 dress pants, which are being cut down. The pants, you don't need 10 pants. 2 pairs of jeans, 2 dress style shirts, but actually are linen and more Hawaii style relaxing shirts, not for work. That's about it. But I don't have that to portray a style. I have that because that's all I need. I have this shirt too, obviously, Nike. Starting to get torn up a bit in the wash, but my house shirt. Yeah, so this video went off. 22 minutes. Oh my god. Maybe this is my zen. I turn on the camera and I focus on making videos, and 25 minutes goes by, and when it's over, I think I've given you about 1 minute worth of information. Have I been sitting here for 20 minutes saying nothing? Anyway, 2 books to begin minimalism: Spark Joy, and most importantly, Goodbye Things. Spark Joy put the idea in my head. I sat in there for a year, as I think I've mentioned, like putting bullets in a gun. But I wasn't able to fire that gun until I read Goodbye Things. This is the book that got it all going. And now we're minimalizing. Anyway, I won't be making these rambling videos every day. I will be making them often, though. This weekend is going to be my final setup of my apartment, I think. So once it's all set up, I'll show you I think I have some videos up before, but I'll definitely show the after. I'll show you the empty spaces. I'll show you everything set up again. I'll show you my little Zen garden, which is, again, no religious base. It's just something to focus on and relax with. Don't even know if I'm going to keep it. And we'll be back with, I guess, an apartment tour, minimalist apartment tour in progress, because I'm sure as time goes on, I hope as time goes on, I can get rid of even more. But we'll see. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next week.